Hi, my name is Katie Kuneth, and I'm here with the LTV Community Intern Project. For this interview, I will be speaking with East Hampton Union Free School District Superintendent Mr. Adam Fine and the East Hampton School District Board of Education President Mr. James Foster. Thank you both for being here with me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so first I just want to ask, how long have you both held your positions either in district or on the board?
So I've been on the board, I'll be 11 years in July. And as president, 10.
And I've been superintendent for the past 3 years, and I've been in East Hampton for the past 14 years.
Great. So you both have been involved with creating a budget and deciding on a budget for a while now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Take us through that process. What is the process like for a district and the Board of Education in creating and deciding on a budget yearly?
Well, so it really starts early, so kind of earlier than you would think as a student. So we start basically right when the school year starts working on the budget. So, and that would be our administrative discussions internally before it goes to the Board of Education. We get to more of the board level and turning it over to the board in October and trying to get direction of where we're going then. But it's a pretty early process.
It is. It is. It's lengthy. It's not as long as it, for us as a board member, when they first started the 2% tax cap, I came in just after that. And we did, I can't remember how many meetings we did in public. And then when I came in, we started them on LTV, which was good. But after that, we've trimmed them down a little bit just because we've gotten better at it. And I think it's like, the truth is every year there's less to really inspect. I mean, you get to a point where, you're looking at sort of the same stuff, when you break it down into sections, the section you actually can control it's tough. It's tough. So we've streamlined it. Adam has helped streamline it for us. Sam, our finance official, has also done the same thing. So it's made it much easier.
Yeah, great. So I'm aware that this year's a relatively special year in terms of the budget vote because the district is attempting to pierce the cap. What exactly does that mean? And if the budget does pass, what will that entail for the residents?
Yeah, so about 15 years ago, the state implemented a property tax cap of 2% on the tax levy. That's not a budget-to-budget tax cap, it's a levy. So actually how you get the taxes. With that, if you're below the 2% tax cap, it goes to the voters just for a vote of yes or no, majority wins. In the case of when you pierce the cap and you're gonna go over the 2% levy, it's a 60% voter approval. So it's a little more and a little more difficult to do.
When was the last time the district presented a budget with such an increase?
Going back, over the last and when I was principal, everything had been under the 2% tax cap since 2014. So it's been 10 years now.
Yeah, that was like the second year, first or second year. It was my second board year. We pierced the cap, and sometimes it's just necessary.
Yeah. Would you say that it was easier or more difficult to decide on a budget this year, considering the fact that?
So going ahead, I mean, and that's a great question. So, we knew last year, myself and Sam Schneider, our assistant superintendent for business, that costs are rising incredibly. Everything's exorbitant, every little thing, and something for you, just example. And I know this is more of an East Hampton thing. The graduation tent over the past 14 years, the graduation tent, just the cost of it has grown from $15,000 to almost $60,000. So almost 300%. Where we're still trying to maintain below the tax cap. So those challenges, going back those times have, kind of been very, kind of eye-opening for us. But we knew probably going into this year that we were going to be up against it. And we have to wait for certain costs to come in from the state. Some of them obviously are state aid. But in addition to that, our retirement health insurance, our active employee health insurance, our retirement, we pay into the retirement system, and those increases we have to wait for, and we knew we'd be up against it.
Yeah. What is your greatest concern with this vote, and when was the last time the budget didn't pass?
I think the budget didn't pass in 1978, if I'm
you're right.
Oh, wow.
not mistaken.
Yeah.
That was the last time that I know of that it didn't pass. And I think there's a lot of residents that still live in East Hampton that lived through 1978. And I don't think it was a fun year. So I think it may have made some things fun, but I don't think everything was all wonderful. You think sports and you think of yourself as a student and the things that you don't have if you don't pass.
Yeah.
And, those are things that, I know Adam, took some things into consideration when he came to the board to talk about, hey, listen, this is what I think we should do. And I think the board looks at it as, I had 2 children that went through this district. They're now, one is, out of college, one is getting ready to be out of college. And I look at the opportunities that this district created for my kids, and it's only better since then. I would hate to see us go in the other direction, because you could, in 1 year, you could do a lot of damage in 1 year, but it would take you 10 to 15 to just get back to where you are.
Yeah, I think the goal was for us to preserve programs, so the decision and recommendation I made to the board was, we've been through a lot over the last few years from the pandemic. Even going before that, the districts had made a huge commitment to mental health and social emotional well-being of our students, and I didn't feel it was time to stop with cutting things and program for kids, classes, reducing things. I just didn't think the timing was right for our school district, and so I made the recommendation to the Board of Education, which is a difficult decision. And I think kind of JP kind of hinted at it, when we go into this process, our concern are the taxpayers too. Obviously, you as a student,
Right.
we think about the educational program and how we can maintain it and be very responsible. The board has been extremely transparent during all of that. But I think at a point where we want to maintain what we have, and this is not the right time to start cutting, because we are substantially over the allowable cap. There was no just, Mr. Fine, can you just, maybe cut, one program or this and that. We were so far above because of rising costs, decreased tuition. We were so far above it, it was either cut substantially or pierce the cap.
Okay. In the event in which the budget vote doesn't pass, what are the next steps for district administration and the board?
So I'll be the bearer of the wonderful news. So the board has to decide where they're allowed to put up the budget again.
Okay.
The board will then direct me on what budget they want to put up again. They could tell me as an administrator, please go cut some things out of it, get it below the cap, or cut a little bit, or leave it the same, and then the board decides maybe we're putting up the same budget. If that goes down, then that's the end. That means we have to go to contingency budget, it's called, and we will have to cut $5.6 million at least of program. Because we have to go down to last year's tax levy, which that is, you don't want to think about it, because forget just sports. I mean, that's chump change. You're looking at major programming change, meaning the significant reduction of staffing, and instructional staff, which is the majority of our budget, you'd have to look at first, which again, that's why we didn't want to go in this direction. It's difficult. I don't even want to think about it, to be honest.
No.
All right. Is there anything else you guys would like to share with me or for anyone watching?
I think the biggest thing I think I could say as a taxpayer, as a parent, is that get out and vote. However you vote, vote. That's your decision. But I think the fact that our community has supported our tax base, being the school district's tax base, very overwhelmingly, frankly. And I think it's being, run very well. I give a lot of credit to Adam. He's built a program. Rich Burns, built a program. There's been a lot of people that have put a lot of work into this program that we currently have, and I would really hate to see it go backwards. And I think the board, when we thought about it, we're like, no, we're not going to go backwards. We can't go backwards. You have to be very responsible to the taxpayer, which I feel we are. But we also have to be, responsible to our future, which is you guys. The kids are the future of our town, and it could be sports. It could be whatever that puts you over the edge, that makes you stand out a little bit more to get into that school that you wanted to go to. And I want to see us have more opportunity rather than less.
Yeah, JP hit it on it, people coming out to vote, that's my greatest fear. We've had voter apathy, because I get the sense that people are happy with the schools and happy with the programming, from not only our parents, but from the community. So people have not come out to vote.
Yeah.
People need to come out and vote. It's an important year for us, and hopefully they're okay and comfortable with the budget we're proposing, because I agree that, the future and you guys are owed that, and I think, again, one of the points to hit on is the budget was built very responsibly. There's not adding of things. In fact, we're putting off a lot of things that we wanted to include on this ballot because of the cap. And wanted to just let people understand it's just the programming.
All right, well, thank you both so much for meeting with me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For everyone watching, please make sure you go out and vote on May 21st at the East Hampton Union Free School District offices on Two Long Lane. Again, this interview was brought to you by the LTV Community Intern Project. My name is Katie Kuneth, and thank you for tuning in.